Welcome to the My Fun Podcast. Yay! Welcome, my friend. Thank you so much. I am so eternally grateful that you took some time to join me on the podcast today. My name is Wonu Alishe. Sometimes I do go by Amazing Soul. But thank you so much for taking time out to listen to me. Let's get into it. So, on today's podcast, I will be talking about why does slowing down feel unsafe? That's the question I really want to sit with today. Um, it's not as a concept, it's not as a theory, but something that I have lived in my body for most of my life. Because for a very long time on my journey, slowing down didn't feel peaceful to me. It did not. It felt dangerous. It felt like if I slow down, something bad would happen. Yeah, that's how it felt. Like I would lose control, like I would fall apart. Like everything I was holding together would finally collapse. And I didn't know I was holding anything together. I just knew how to survive. And that took a huge toll on my body. You see, for most of my life, my nervous system was shaped with chaos, movement, adaptation, and survival. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. Life in Lagos was loud or is loud. It was fast and it was unpredictable. There wasn't really space for emotional processing or emotional safety or even conversations about how you're feeling. You just learn how to adapt. You learn how to perform. You learned how to manage. You learned how to survive. And you also learned that slowing down wasn't really an option. So I did not consciously, I just found myself moving. I became very good at being busy, very good at being productive, very good at being the capable one, also very good at being strong. And underneath all that, my body was holding everything I wasn't allowed to feel. Yeah. There's something really important I want to bring your attention to. Around the ages of 0 to 7, because the brain during that time is simply like a sponge. It absorbs the emotional environment. It absorbs what it feels like it think it's safe, what's dangerous, what's allowed, what's not allowed. And then it builds a personality around these rules. So when I was a child, I was emotional. I was the sensitive child. I was expressive. I was angry sometimes. And I was told directly and indirectly that anger wasn't okay, that it wasn't safe, that it wasn't welcome, that it wasn't acceptable. And you see, my 4 or 5 year old brain at that time didn't process that as, or at least process that as, oh, it didn't process that as this is just information. It processed that as, oh, this is a part of me that is not allowed to exist. That's what my brain did when I was 4 or 5 years old. So my brain did what all intelligent nervous systems do. It adapted, it suppressed, it tucked that energy away. And over time, what starts as suppressed emotions becomes stored tension. And stored tension becomes stored stress. And stored stress becomes stored pain. Hmm. I didn't know any of this back then. I just lived my life fast, highly driven, the capable one, the responsible one, and always moving forward. Um, I joined the military, I built structure, I built discipline, and I built order, and it worked. Until my body said, no more. Around 2022, I started experiencing excruciating lower back pain. It wasn't discomfort, it wasn't soreness. This was pain that took over my entire nervous system. Pain that affected my sleep, my mood, my identity, my sense of self. This pain brought me to a place I had never been before. Stillness. This wasn't by choice, it was by necessity. I couldn't move fast anymore. And I also couldn't perform my way out of it. I couldn't think my way out of it anymore. I couldn't push through it anymore. My body literally forced me to slow down. And that's when I realized something very confronting. Slowing down didn't feel restful to me. It felt terrifying because slowing down meant I could finally feel. And feeling felt unsafe. You see, when you have lived in survival for a long time, speed feels like safety. Business starts to feel like safety. Productivity starts to feel like safety. Motion starts to feel like safety. Because motion keeps you away from what's really underneath. So when motion stops, everything starts to arise. Yeah. The emotions, the grief, the anger, the confusion, the questions, everything. Like, who am I if I'm not doing? Who am I if I'm not productive? Who am I if I'm not surviving? Who am I behind the labels, behind the roles, behind the identity I built to stay safe? Well, my friend, this is where my existential crisis really started. Not because something was wrong, no, but because something was finally quiet enough to be heard. Yes. um, Over the years, this is what I have learned. Your nervous system doesn't care about logic. No, it doesn't. It cares about familiarity. It cares about what it knows. And if your system grew up in chaos, um, there is a high probability that being calm will feel very unfamiliar. And unfamiliar feels unsafe. So slowing down doesn't register as rest, like actual rest. It registers to your body as danger. You see, not because it's dangerous, no, because it is unknown. That's why it feels dangerous. So your body does what it does, it resists. It creates anxiety, restlessness, and a whole lot of guilt. A lot of urge to check your phone, the urge to do something, the urge to fix something, the urge to move. And I will say this just to remind you, my friend, it's not because you're broken. No, it's because your nervous system is simply trying to protect you from the unknown. Yeah, from the unknown. So when I first started slowing down a few years ago, I didn't feel peaceful. No, I felt very agitated. I felt very restless. I felt anxious 24/7 and very, very uncomfortable. You see, my mind wanted to escape the moment. My body always wanted to tense itself. My nervous system wanted to go back to what it knew. But here's the difference. I stayed. Not perfectly, not gracefully, not at once. I stayed in micro moments. Moments where I chose to sit instead of rush. Moments where I chose to breathe instead of distract. Moments where I chose to feel instead of suppress. And slowly, my body started to learn something new. Whew. That stillness doesn't equal danger. The calm doesn't equal collapse. That rest doesn't equal loss of control. What it truly means, it's safety. But safety has to be taught. Not intellectually, no. It has to be taught somatically in your body, in our bodies. And that happens through repetition. It happens through permission and a lot of patience. A lot of patience, my friend. You see, slowing down gave me access to something I never had before. That was choice. Choice instead of compulsion. Choice instead of reaction. Choice instead of pattern. You see, I started to really see my unconscious behaviors. The reason why I overfunction, the reason why I overgive, the reason why I overcontrol, and also the reason why I overthink. And it's not with judgment. It was with sheer curiosity. And curiosity, my friend, is what dissolves shame. Because when you're curious, you're not trying to fix yourself. No, that's not what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is understand yourself. And in that understanding, that creates compassion. That understanding starts to eventually create safety. And that safety creates regulation. Now, this is the part I want to say very, very clearly. There is absolutely nothing wrong with going fast. No, not at all. Speed is not bad. No, it's not. Ambition, to be ambitious is not bad at all. No, it's not. Movement is not bad. But you see, the wisdom is knowing when the speed is coming from joy and when it's coming from fear. There's a difference. When your movement is expression and when it's avoidance, there's a difference. You see, slowing down didn't make me smaller. It made me clearer. It didn't take away my power. It actually did the opposite. It returned it. Because now I'm not driven by my unconscious survival anymore. No. Now I'm guided by conscious presence. Hmm. So this is a beautiful reminder to you, my friend. If slowing down feels unsafe for you, it doesn't mean you're broken. No. I mean, 10 times out of 10 is far from it, because that's false. It simply means your nervous system learned safety in motion. And now it's learning how to truly feel safe in stillness. That's no regression. No, it's not. It might feel that way. That is re-education, teaching your body something new. That's no weakness either. No, it's not. No, that's rewiring. That's no collapse either. That's integration. And it takes time. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of kindness towards yourself, a lot of self-compassion. But what waits on the other side of slowing down is not emptiness. It's clarity. It's self-trust. It's wisdom. It's a deeper relationship with your own body, with your own emotions, and your own life. And for me, the pain that forced me to slow down ended up being one of the greatest gifts I have ever received. Yeah. Not because I would ever choose pain, but because it brought me home, home to myself, home to my body, home to this present moment. And that, my friend, that is where safety lives. Thank you so much for being here. I really, 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 really appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking time out to be here with me. And if this resonated with you in any way, maybe, just maybe, your body is asking for permission to slow down, permission to feel, permission to rest, permission to be human. You don't have to rush your way into healing, my friend. No, you don't. You can arrive slowly, and that is enough. Thank you.